All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to jump into the first part of our show, which is the movie watching challenge. And if you've never witnessed this segment of our show before, each week one of us gets challenged to a new movie that, or not a new movie, but a new movie to us that person individual has not seen. And they are challenged by one of the other members of Apocaflix, and it just keeps going. Our only really rules are that you can't challenge the last two people that were challengers. And last week, Jake, you were challenged by Brian Avalosino to watch the multi-Oscar winning film Parasite. So I will hand it to you, good sir. Why don't you give us your thoughts on Parasite?
So I want to start by talking about how I have a very love-hate relationship with oh my god, why am I blanking on his name?
The director?
Bong Joon-ho. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Snowpiercer is one of my favorite movies. I am obsessed with it. I think the world is so interesting. I think the TV series is very, very good as well.
Are you still watching it?
I am. And then one of his other films, Okja, I hate with my entire body.
That's right.
Yeah, I really do despise that movie. So I have a very, very up and down, and I know he's done a number of other films, obviously, but I have a very up and down relationship with his movies, and that's because he likes to speak the loudest words possible for whatever story he's telling. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
Well, it worked for Snowpiercer for you.
Yeah, and that's the point of being a director and a storyteller. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. But in the case of something like Okja, for me, he spoke that a little too loud, and he spoke that in the wrong direction. And that is a movie that I probably will never recommend to someone. But when it comes to Parasite, because we are here to talk about Parasite, so it won the 2019 Best Picture Oscar on top of a number of other things. It was considered the best film in that year. And so it's been 2 years since it came out, and the movie's been talked about, specifically when it did come out. And I've always been an advocate for foreign language films. I've always told people, don't watch a dubbed over movie. Watch the one that has the actual voices with the subtitles. That's what it's there for. But I will say, I think the hype got to me.
No.
Okay.
It was good. It was good. It wasn't Best Picture. It wasn't Best Picture winning for me.
Man.
I think that the storytelling is great. What he does as a director and a writer is unbelievable. He's one of the best in the business today for a reason. I think the acting is off the charts. I think his cinematography is great, but it just I guess I don't know what I was expecting. Just because it's been 2 years, and I will say this because it's available on Hulu. The rights went to Hulu. When you put it on Hulu, can you guys take a guess on what genre it is on Hulu?
Is it under horror?
I had a feeling that's what I was going to guess too. Horror.
No, it's under comedy.
What?
Comedy?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't even think it's a horror movie either.
No, it's a drama.
Yeah,
it's a drama.
There's a little bit of thriller in there, but drama for sure.
There's a thriller the last 5 minutes of the movie. Like thriller's like the last 5 minutes.
And there's comedy in there, but no, it's not a comedy.
So that was already kind of like a okay, interesting as soon as I plug it in. And so I didn't go in with any kind of prior knowledge to the movie. I knew nothing about it. All I knew about it was that it was about social classes. And that's what the story was focusing on. And that's all I heard about for 2 years. And look, don't get me wrong. The movie is an incredible movie. It is the way that it's crafted, the way that the story plays out, the things that happen. But for me, it's just one of those movies that I caught too late. I think people had talked about it and built it up so much that I was expecting this incredible masterpiece of a movie, and I didn't get that. Like, I'm glad that I finally was able to watch it. It's good. I would recommend it to everybody, especially because foreign language films definitely need to be seen a lot more. Give them a chance. But it was good. Like I'm glad I watched it, but it was just good.
Interesting. So we see Brian with the sad lips and the sad face. So first, I want to start with Brian real quick. Brian, you watched this a little later as well. So to you, the hype lived up. It lived up to the hype for you.
Oh, I loved it. I thought the movie was crazy.
Yeah,
and it was just like.
See, I wouldn't describe it as that. I would not describe it as that at all.
Well, you're boring.
I could see that, and I definitely think it turns that way at a certain point later on in the movie. But
the last 10 minutes of the movie, that's what it turns into.
It is a very weird kind of movie. Like
the people living on, there's so much going on. I liked it.
And the way they infiltrate the family, it's just kind of creepy in a way.
Well, so yes, I guess if that's what we're talking about, then yes. But I don't know. It was just
no. And I've had that happen to me before, where look, these movies, they get great reviews, right? It won Best Picture, right? And then you have that, and then you have me talking it up these last 2 years, and I'm sure other people have talked it up to you too. Brian sees it, he talks it up, and then you finally have to watch it. So I get it, but
he would have liked it less.
You acknowledged that it's a good piece of filmmaking. You acknowledge that.
Oh, 100%. And I think he is one of the best filmmakers working today. I can't wait to see what he does next, because he, like a lot of filmmakers who stay outside of blockbuster genres, like the Edgar Wrights and the Quentin Tarantinos and stuff, they always have something to say. And each time it's always something different. And so I'm interested in seeing where he goes next and what kind of story he decides to tell, because it's always something that people are waiting for.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because Oakjaw is very different from Parasite, and those are both very different from his other films. So something he does next isn't going to be like those. So I'm excited to see what he got. Well, look, I wasn't sure how you were going to feel about it, but yeah, it's okay. Sometimes, the hype is too much, for sure.
I know why Jake didn't like it, because Ford v Ferrari was in that nomination. 1917 was in that.
I was trying to look up my rankings
Marriage Story,
and I had it at 7, but I had Marriage Story above it, 1917 above it, Jojo Rabbit above it. So
this probably wouldn't have made my top 10 that year.
Yeah, probably not, because even I loved it and I had it at 7. So
I don't know if I wouldn't disagree with you.
Let's see. Let me just real quick, because I know we do have to move on.
I'm sure you like Jojo Rabbit better than it.
Let me look, because it feels like it's been ages ago. Let me look.
I think we all use the same ranking system too.
Yeah.
Well, you're welcome for that, both of you. Let's see. No, not that. Okay, so let's see. This was
2019.
No, I wouldn't have made my top 10.
I wouldn't.
It would have. It probably would be around 14 or 15 that year.
See, now it would probably be either 10 or 11 for me.
So here's my top 10 of 2019. I know we're reminiscing, but
hey, we got time.
Here's my top 10 of 2019. So I had Ford v Ferrari at number 1, 1917 at 2, The Peanut Butter Falcon at 3, Jojo Rabbit at 4, Marriage Story at 5, Endgame at 6, Knives Out at 7. I had The Rise of Skywalker at 8. I had How to Train Your Dragon 3 at 9, and I had Long Shot at 10.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Those were my 10, and it's not, for me, it's not, I would much rather watch those other movies than this one.
See, I'm not that far off from you. I have Avengers Endgame, Peanut Butter Falcon, Rise of Skywalker, Toy Story 4, Spider-Man Far From Home, How to Train Your Dragon 3, Aladdin, Rocketman, Jojo Rabbit, and Ford v Ferrari. So for me, it would be fighting in between probably Ford v Ferrari and Parasite.
Yeah, it's still ranked relatively high. We see at least 30 or 40 movies, theatrical movies a year. So still pretty high
Jacob,
up there.
What was yours of 2019?
I mean, I know I was thinking about sharing it. I have it up
Doesn't-
already.
Doesn't fighting with my family seem like so much longer than just 3 years ago?
There's a lot of stuff feels like
This
a lot
was
longer.
2019, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had Jojo Rabbit number 1. I had Endgame number 2. I had Aladdin number 3. I had Joker number 4. 1917 at number 5. Marriage Story at number 6. Parasite at 7. Booksmart at 8. John Wick Chapter 3 at 9. And Long Shot at 10. So it did make mine, but number 7. So it makes sense. If it's
I want to make
guys'
sure everybody knows to watch a movie that probably you've never heard of. Go watch a movie called The Mustang, please and thank you.
Did that come out in 2019? I'm guessing
it did. Yeah, it's about.
I just want you to watch car movies.
It's It's not about cars actually. It is about prisoners. Training horses. And one prisoner gets very attached to a Mustang, and it's an incredibly good film.
It's about a horse in Brian's life. Saying it's a Mustang.
No, I remember now.
It's a car movie.
He had been talking about
John Pierce, go watch Marriage Story. It is unbelievable.
I only got like 30 minutes into that. And
Marriage Story, Brian?
Yeah.
Marriage Story is a...
Maybe because it was a little like too on the nose.
Look, it's heavy. There's certain people I wouldn't recommend watch it, but
that movie got robbed that year. She got robbed.
That movie is amazing. So incredible.
It was probably too on the nose for me. That's probably why I was like,
You know, I like reminiscing about this year. It was the last year we were all like doing podcasts in Brian's apartment and doing them all in person. So I'm like getting visual memories of it all.
We did it early 2020.
Yeah, but that was the last time we did end of year rankings and stuff. Yeah.
And our awards and everything.
Yeah,
dude,
so,
looking at my letterbox,
the golden fireballs.
Yeah, so stupid, but it's a good name.